Sergey is making noise again. I did play with him before making this video, so he shouldn't be that... But yeah, okay, anyway. I've marked the pages that I find the most... that I would suggest if you wanted to make a coloring journal. That I would suggest you do, sort of. Yeah. So I'll just go right into it. First up, I always write my name and my address in every notebook or coloring book I own, since if I lose it, that it can find its way back to me. And then the second page, just if you want to do a title page, that's up to you. Here we go with the actual coloring related pages. So I have a list of my coloring collection. I find that useful sometimes, since it's about, sometimes it's, if you have this many books, it's you can't really see every one of them on the shelf. So it's easier to have a list of them if you want to like do stuff and things. If you want to, you can also do, this is called a grid sheet page in the bullet journal community. And of course, you don't have to have a dotted notebook, but I like dotted notebooks. They give freedom, but still keep things, make it easier to like write straight and so stuff like that. So it's structured, but it's not as structured as a lined notebook. But the grid sheet page is just counting how many spaces you have if you have a dotted notebook in both the horizontal and the vertical way, and then dividing it up into pages that you use a lot. So for my coloring notebook, I use this one a lot. Sergey is scratching at something in the background. Oh, he climbed into the closet. Okay, let me just go and close the closet. So yeah, for those who don't know, I have a cat. His name is Sergey. He's crazy in a certain toy right now that we keep in a closet so that he doesn't get bored of it. And he's doing everything to get to it. Anyway, so yeah, I use this one a lot, which is just a table for color alongs. And I'll show you that later on. But basically, it's just every time I go to do a color along table like this for each month. So which color along it is on Instagram and who's taking care of it, which handle, and then if I've done it or not. I always like check this grid so I know that, okay, after 2 spaces I'll do the @ and yeah, so that's just a quick thing that's nice to know. Then next thing that's nice, if you ask me, to keep in your coloring journal is the different challenges. So I have a few of them. I have Color Your Hoard, which then has a list of the books that I have colored in, I haven't colored in. Or like, I made a list of all the books I hadn't colored in. And then during the year, see, I've ticked in some of the ones that I have colored in. So I've been kind of good with all my new ones. These are, I added on a post-it note. And yeah. And then I have Color Nameplate Challenge. I have the Checklist Challenge of Color and Chat with Sammy. And then I have Books to Finish. This is this idea of like writing down all the pages in a book you want to finish and then coloring in the pages that you have finished. It's from another color YouTuber. If I remember, I'll put it in the video. And then I have my neglected books. This is a nice list to do, if you ask me. Even if you don't do the other challenges, you may have some books in your collection which you would like to color in more, but you sort of forget each month, or they're just not, you don't remember to like pick them out. And so that's why I have like a book of, I wrote a list of the ones that I would want to coloring more, and then I'm giving them hearts for how many times I've touched them. So those are for the challenges. Then the next thing that I would suggest, you can either do like a lot of bullet journaling community, they have like, or we, I don't know, but yeah, so like you have monthly setup pages, but that may actually, for me, it's important okay, let's put it like this. For me, this almost generated a bit of stress to keep track each month of what I've colored and what I haven't colored. So either that's something for you and you like it, or you can instead do like the seasons. So you have the autumn title page, I guess, and then the books of the season. Oh, here we go. Hi, Sergey. Move along. Oh God, you're dirty. Okay, anyway, you could have a list of the books of the season. So like for autumn, I wrote down some both Halloween books and just autumn books that I would like to color in that season. So that's just something you have to try and decide for yourself if you want to do it or not. For monthly pages, right now, since I do videos about my finished pages, I do keep track of what I sort of want to color, a to be colored list, and then I do what I actually colored. Now, a tip, if you get stressed out about writing down everything you've colored, is to write down just the book. Instead of like writing down which page in the book or trying to name the different pages. That stressed me out at least. Or not stressed, but like it wasn't that nice. Sergey's moving through again. Come on, move along. Oh gods. Okay. But yeah, so writing down just the books is helping me at least. Next up, I have a list of my forever whips. So this is just, here I had to like try to name the different pages. So I have like penguins in the Fantastic Zoo. So Fantastic Zoo is the book, and then I have a page with penguins, which I haven't finished. And these are all pages that have been whips for like 2 or 3 years. Some of them are pages that I've sort of giving up on, but I don't really give up on pages. That's why I have a forever whip list, because I someday plan to go back and finish them. And you see, I have finished some of them and started some of them. So I like color in the whole circle when I've totally finished it. So I finished The Rabbit by Rita Berman, but I have started recently on the Girl on a Swing in Aquatic, but I didn't really finish it. I just did a bit more progress, and then yeah, stuff like that. And the last page I've marked here is the monthly color alongs page. Now I actually, I'll talk about this more in my like coloring journaling journey, but for a while, I got stressed out by keeping track of my hobby in this way. And the only thing I missed when I didn't keep track on it was a page like this. So this is actually a really nice thing, if you ask me, to write down all the color alongs, and then if I want to do anything if I really want to do anything, I put a little arrow at it, and you can see I've colored just one this month, but that's okay. It's not about like trying to fill in everything, not for me at least. It's more about knowing what's out there. So like sometimes you get inspired when you see a hashtag on Instagram or anywhere, and then I forget it by the end of the month, and that's why it's nice to have it written down somewhere, for me at least. And I actually forgot the type of page that I would suggest, or like you can consider. This is something I do for deciding if I want to buy more books of a certain type or not. Because and this is not something I don't judge anyone who like wants to buy the full collection of book. I totally realize there's a difference, both in what your coloring budget is, and then there's a difference in what you buy books for. Like you can either collect them as art books, and I totally get that and I love it. But then there's also like if you want to actually color in all your books, that's also another like type of reason why you would buy coloring books. And I mean, just whatever, right? I'm not judging anyone, but this is how I keep track of my coloring budget, and how what helps me decide what books to prioritize, and if I don't really want a book. So I always watch flip-throughs. That's my first thing. I never pre-order books. What I do is, for example, I like Teresa Goodrich, and I would, in a perfect world, want to buy all her books. But I also realize, when I look at flip-throughs, that some of her books aren't for me, because some of her... So this is what I do, is I write down all the books that Teresa Goodrich has, put a little square in front of them, I tick in the ones that I do own, and then put an X on the ones that I don't want. And how I decide if a book has an X or not is by looking at flip-throughs and then counting how many pages in there actually talk to me when I look at the flip-through, how many pages I would like to color. So in romantic scenes, I only have 5. But in like Country Gardens, which I have put a little arrow on, that means that it's prioritized. I like what's that, 15, 18 books. The pictures, I mean. I like 15, 18 pictures in Country Gardens, but only 5 in romantic scenes. So that means that Country Garden is a book I might consider getting, but not romantic scenes. So that's one thing. Another thing that I do is like this. So in Rita Berman, I also like all her books, and I would like to get all her books. And if you look at how many books I like in Reise durch Europa, it's a lot of pages I like. And but I'm not really prioritizing this, because in the books I do own, the circles are all the pages that I like in those books, that I really like, that I really want to color. And you see, in Winter I've only colored 1, but there's like a lot of pages there that I haven't even touched. So I'm trying to motivate myself, or like, you know, it's not really rules, but like, I mean, it's a bit of a, for me, for how I color, how I use my coloring books, it's a bit of a pity to buy more books by Rita Berman when I already own 4 of her books and haven't colored that much in them. So that's how I'm thinking, and how I keep track of that. So if I'm good and color a bit more of these pages that I already own, I'll get these ones. Or I might get them anyway and just be aware of this. I don't know. It's just... it's something that helps me decide my budget. And if it's not for you, or if you like... I mean, just... it's a type of page that I might help you the way it's helping me. But it might not. So... and I'm not judging anyone who doesn't want to keep track like this. There we go. So yeah, those are the main pages that I like having. Some sort of title page if you like that. Maybe a grid sheet if you like that. A list of my collection. Then the different challenges if you want to keep track of that. Perhaps a seasonal page. A list of neglected books is nice. If you don't like a seasonal page, maybe, or if you're more of a... you want to keep track monthly, you can do monthly pages instead. And a list of forever whips. And then the maybe most used one for me is the table of color alongs. So yeah, those are the main things that I've learned I like to have in my coloring journal. Let me know if you do this. Let me know if there are spreads that you do that you think might be interesting for me, because I would love to know.